Dear colleagues, we continue our working day. Now the floor is given to Ministry of Defense of Ukraine spokesman on ATO-related issues, Colonel Oleksandr Motuzyanyk. Good afternoon, everyone. Now to your attention is the information about the main events that happened in the ATO area. Today's briefing, we start with good news. During the last 24 hours, and the result of the military actions, no Ukrainian serviceman was killed or wounded. Along the front line, there were 19 enemy shelling, and 2 instances the enemy used heavy weapons. Now, in more detail about the areas, in Lugansk area, the militants significantly decreased the number of shelling along the line of contact. The only exception is Krymsk, where the occupants during the day shelled with the use of mortars and grenade launchers. During half hour, the enemy launched 19 mines at our positions that are near the settlement. And closer to midnight, the militants opened fire with the use of grenade launchers and shelled the Motuzyanyk. These were mainly sporadic shellings. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Lugansk area, there were 3 enemy shelling, including 2 with use of mortars. The Donetsk area, it is relatively calm. Heavy weapons is not used by the militants. At the same time, the enemy carried out a number of shelling in Avdiivka using heavy machine guns and grenade launchers of different systems. And the ceasefire was violated by the militants to the north of Gorlovka and in Svetlodarsk Bulge, but heavy weapons was not used. So there were 5 enemy shelling in the Donetsk area during the last 24 hours. The Mariupol area, the enemy was active in the far south, Gnutovo, Vodyane, and Shirokina. The militants delivered sporadic fire at our positions. They delivered fire both during the day and at night. Heavy weapons was not used. On the whole, during the last 24 hours in the Mariupol area, there were 11 enemy shelling. Law enforcers detained the participants of illegal armed groups. In Novolugansk, law enforcers found 1 more militant. It was identified that he joined the militants in April 2014, and he got arms, and he was nicknamed Bayan, and he served at checkpoint near Debaltseve. In a month, the militant understood that he had been mistaken, and he left the ranks of the militants. He was in Donetchina, then he came to Russia, and then returned to his native village. And until recently, he was convinced that law enforcers wouldn't be able to find him. And in Liman, police officers detained DPR proxy. According to preliminary information, in April 2014, the resident of the settlement joined the militants, and for 2 months he served at checkpoint of the militants. And in course of active phase of ATO, he left the militants and lived in Liman. Now investigation continues. And at the same time, in northern suburbs of Gorlovka, National Police detained former deputy of so-called DPR. The man tried to cross the line through Mayorsk checkpoint. He was stopped for a thorough check. In the course of interrogation, he told about illegal actions and corruption among commanders of DPR. And that's why he fled to Russia. Then he returned. Now the detained is verified whether he committed any heavy crimes. SBU found in ATO area some ammunition of Russian production. On the 13th of January, the serviceman of 92nd Detached Motorized Brigade repelled subversive group of DPR. In the course of inspection of this place, SBU officers found some arms, grenade shells, and hand grenade launcher that was left by the militants. And The verification showed that this ammunition was produced by Basalt Enterprise. Now the anti-aircraft forces and artillery detachments of South Group had some training. The anti-aircraft forces provided support for the artillery detachments to protect them from air attacks, and they also used air drones, and also they were trained in destruction of the imaginary enemy. And one truck went through Novotroitsky checkpoint to the occupied territory, bringing diesel generator provided by UNO. No questions. This is the end of briefing. Dear colleagues, next event is at 1 p.m.